Okay, so we are going to rationalise the denominator. The first thing I want to highlight is actually the important words. So rationalise and denominator. Denominator is really easy. Here we are, it's the denominator of a fraction. Rationalise comes from our understanding of rational numbers versus, I guess, irrational numbers. So rationalise the denominator is really get rid of the surd in the denominator. Now we do that by multiplying by 1, but I'm going to show you what that actually looks like. So what it really is if I have 2 over the square root of 3, I've actually got an irrational denominator. So I make an equivalent fraction. And the answer to that is actually 2 root 3 over 3. Now my denominator is a rational number. So that's what rationalise the denominator is. Let's look how we do it. The first thing that I want to remember, okay, is that if I ever multiply anything by 1, I get what I had, didn't I? And everybody knows that. The next thing is do we agree that, for example, 2 over 2 is 1 and root 3 over 3 must also be 1. This is a really important concept, and if you're okay with that now, we progress. If you're not, you need to check in with me, okay? But the idea of multiplying by 1 means that we can easily let me show you what I mean. In my example, I had 2 divided by root 3. Now I told you that that was equivalent to 2 root 3 over 3. They are now rationalised. But how did I get there? Well, what I did was multiply by 1. So 2 divided by root 3, and I am going to multiply it by 1. But my 1 is made up of whatever is in my denominator here. Okay? So this is equal to 1. Now that I've done that, what I have is 2 times the square root of 3 divided by square root of 3 multiplied by the square root of 3. 2 square root 3 divided by the square root of 3 squared, which is 2 root 3 divided by 3. Are you comfortable with that? This is now rationalised. I have a rational number as my denominator. I have rationalised my denominator. How can I make this a bit of a general rule for me to follow all of the time? Okay, let's try one more. What if I had 4 root 2 divided by root 6? How do I rationalise that denominator? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you the answer straight away. And to do that, I followed the calculator instructions and I just put it in my calculator. 4 root 2 divided by root 6. And I get 4 root 3 over 3. How did I get there? Well, 4 root 2 divided by root 6. I'm going to multiply it by 1 now. Except I use whatever the irrational number is in my denominator. Root 6 divided by root 6. So I have 4 root 2 times root 6 divided by root 6 multiplied by root 6. 4 root 12 divided by 6. Are you comfortable with me going directly from this to this? Can you see how I got there? Root 6 times root 6 is like root 6 squared, isn't it? And the root, these are inverse operations. I could have said that it's root 36, which we know to be 6. That's actually the whole point of the exercise though, isn't it? To get myself a rational number. Okay, let's go back to here. Well, now I know here that they share a common factor, don't they? So I have 2 root 12 over 3, but 12 is the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, 2 times 2 times root 3, 4, run out of space, forgive me, I'll have to go over this way, 4 root 3 divided by 3. And of course, you can use your calculator, all right? You know how to do this. But can you see? I now have a rational number.